On today's personality profile, we're going to talk to a woman who started out life as a head porter, went on to start her own business and employ hundreds of young people in the Ashanti region. She's currently in the space of scaling her business from a medium-sized one to a large-scale one that would employ thousands of young Ghanaians. We met her at the Ghana Rising Summit, and it's such a privilege to have Mrs. Janet Abobigu with us. She's the founder of Unijay Company Limited, aka Abrewa. Good morning, Mama J.
Good morning.
Should I call you Abrewa or Mama J?
You call me Janet.
Janet, okay. Janet, can you please walk us through your early days as a child? What did you do for fun? What was life like?
My early days of a child, with my background, we were staying in Ahensai, and that area is like Zongo. So it's normal routine. You wake up and do whatever chores that you have to do. But for schooling, it was not in. So I was going around for, like the children we are praying. I just saw a church. I saw some small children were sitting down, learning. Then I entered there myself, and I go and sit down. So when I sit down, the teacher asked me, do you want to go to school? And I say, yes. Then he hold my hands to my parents. The following day, they gave me uniform, and I started. It was like day nursery. Okay. So in one room, we have that day nursery, class 1 and class 2, class 3.
In that one room?
Yes. Okay. If you are good, then you jump to class 1. So the teacher will teach you as class 1 and then teach you as another people as class 2. So now I was in class 3, but I was around 7 years. Then we have to go to basic school. So science school was full, so they have to send me to Atunsu. Okay. Actually, I take myself there.
Hey.
So because my parents sent me to Ahensai, and they say I'm short. That time they don't look like they don't look at the age. Okay. They just put some feet to be. If you are not up to that, which means you haven't
reached the age. Wow.
And I know I can read and I can write also, small. So when I go to Atunsu too, the same. They say I'm small.
How old were you around that time?
That time I was 7 years, but I was short.
Okay, so was it your mom that took you there or your dad that went with you?
No, I went there myself.
At 7?
7 years.
Wow.
At Tonsu early primary. Okay. So when I went there, because some of my mates at the day nursery or like the basic, some went there and they admit them in class 1. So when they are going, I follow them.
Okay, that's good.
So and they say I'm small. So I went to the headmistress office. So, Madam, my dear, met me 2 times, met me at church. Do you remember me? I met me here. I'm bench and my class 1. Then the woman give me asked me to recite 2 and 2. I recite 2 and 2 up to 10 2 times, and I recite up to 10 times.
Wow.
10 times 10. And the woman say, then you are not going to class 1, you are going to class 2.
Wow.
So immediately in class 2, I was a class prefect. When the children are writing that 1 plus 1, I was doing another thing. So I was a class prefect from there up to class 6. Okay. Then that time at Tonsu school, they don't have Form 1. Either you go to Chirapatre or you go to Ahensai. But because we were at Ahensai, I have to go to Ahensai. Ahensai also, I go to the headmistress office and show him my exams report. And so, oh, you are okay. Then they admit me in Form 1. So I assigned Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, and then Form 4.
So let's talk about when you got to Form 4 and you're getting ready to go to secondary school. I don't know if it was called secondary school in your days, but getting ready to go to high school.
In fact, I set common entrance in Form 2, Form 3, and Form 4. Oh, wow. And all are passed, but my parents, they couldn't send me to school.
Why?
Because of lack of money.
Okay.
My father was a watchman, and the Northerners, the family are big. We were 6. And you'll be there 1 week, another person will come with the children, another 6 people. So always, and my father also was the one that already there. So if everybody come, you just find a place for the person to work or to live.
Because back then they were seen coming from the north to Kumasi as a big deal.
So if they come also, they come to my father. But now, those who are coming, they just come and just start their life. That is why it's become...
Okay, so you've gone through this whole process of you're not going to be allowed to go to school because you are short to proving yourself. Now you've taken the entrance exam, you've done well, and you can't go to school because of money. How did that make you feel?
I feel it haven't finished. So I decided, when I was in school, Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, if we vacate, we do some power in the market. So when I finished, I continued to do the power. But one time I carried some load. It was so heavy. So from then, I decided I won't do again.
Do you remember what was in the load?
It was onions.
Okay.
They call it saka. And that saka is like this table. And you know,
it's like this table?
Yes, 1 saka.
Wow.
They put it plenty, the small ones. And you know, it's water.
Yeah.
So you may see it that, but it's heavy. The woman said, we are going to Dr. Mensa. If
From
somebody
where?
who knows Kumasi, in Kumasi.
But from where to Dr. Mensa?
From Bode, where they sell the onions. Not knowing, I take it like it was Dr. Mensa. It's not that. It was Ajip. Ajip, it's also near where the children's hospital is.
Okay.
Now around the KJT area. So it was heavy.
How old were you then?
I was around 16 plus.
Wow.
When I finished school, I was around 16 years.
Okay.
You know, I did not go to class 1.
Yeah, so
at
you
that
skipped
7 years. So I just finished school 16 years.
Okay.
So when we reached Morocco store, that time there is a Barclays Bank there. They called the Morocco store. There was a fat man. He was selling matches in wheelbarrow. That man, it pains me. When I grow, I can't see him again. I think maybe he has died, or if his children or anybody is there, they should contact me. Okay. That person is, look at my neck. Have you seen how it's short? And I'm doing like this.
With the onion?
With the onion. Immediately, the man take the onion from my head and put it down. Boom. Why? You, this woman, you want to kill the girl? And he said, Papa, what's so bad to me? And immediately that man told the woman, pay her.
Wow.
Then he gave me some money. It was green money. I cannot remember. Then I took the money and take my pan and run and go and find somebody's stores in front of there. I sat down and cry and tell myself, I won't do that power again.
Why were you crying?
It's like I want to go to school. I couldn't go because of money. And now I want to do this, and look at me. I want to kill myself. Why? In my class, there were some people, they are not good as me, but they were going to school. I tell myself, still I will work and gather money and go to the school. So I start to roast granite. That one was easy, small. So I will carry my granite. And that time, KBL was there. So I will walk up to KBL. The first time I enter a room with air conditioning, when they called me that, Megujia, I dress like Megujia. Come on, I can speak. I was asking. Then I do ko. Like
you knocked on the door.
Oh, bruh. Then I remove my slippers. They said, oh, bruh.
But you knew you could get in with your
Yes.
But why were you doing all that extra?
You know, it's strategy. It's marketing. You have to give respect. Okay. Do you understand? So when I enter, I said the granite for them. They say, oh, bra. Then I leave my granite there. I bought the cocoa. So anytime I'm going, I just pass and buy the cocoa, the red plantain. I know what everybody wants. And the money I will get there, it's not easy because of that servicing. Do you understand?
That customer service.
So from there, I will work and then sell the granules and get 50%. It's almost 100% profit.
Wow.
Then I will come back. Then one day I took the granule to my school where I finished Form 4. And my teacher, he said, Janet, why? You did not go to school. I said, no, you know, my parents did not take me. And say the last exams I took was Wesley Girls. And I get admission, but I wouldn't go.
You
so
got into Wesley Girls?
Yes. So he said, then, no problem. He want to send me to TIMAS. That one is nearby. Maybe if they admit me, if even they, it will be better. So when I was sent there, they say, okay, they will admit me. And I told my father that he have to go and sign as guardian. He said, no, they will take all his salary to pay my school fees. So he won't go. He did not go. So I say, no problem. So I go back to my teacher and say, then you have to learn a trade. So that time,
why didn't he sign it again?
My father, dad. He was thinking if he say he's a guardian, where he's working, they will force to take his salary to pay my school fees.
And what would be so wrong with that?
That time the salary is not enough to pay my school fees. How the other family are going to survive. And my father wanted me to go to school. He was not educated, but I quite remember in science school, he was among the PTA executives.
Wow.
There's a point in time, he painted all the school for the free. He was a painter also.
So how did you feel that you've gotten into school and even something as simple as signing the documents, your father is afraid because they might take the money that the family is supposed to use to eat to pay for your school fees?
I did not. I was not feeling bad because my father was a person who wanted to take care of us. I quite remember if he don't have money to give us for school, after he was a watchman, so he will come to the house early and buy wache in credit and come and put it down like this for all of us to eat so that we can go to school.
Wow.
Do you understand? So that he don't have. So I know that if he have money, he should have do it. So my teacher told me, if then you can go and learn a trade. So I told him I want to learn how to sew. And that time I have gathered some of my groundnut money. I give it to my father. And my mother also was doing ajongo. You know ajongo,
yeah,
palm kernel.
Yeah.
So we have to carry it to Atonsu for a machine. At first, we were using our hands.
Wow.
Yes. We have to do that so that it will support us. If you come back from school, we'll come and do it. Then if it become plenty, we use our hands to grind it before we take out the ajongo. After, they start using machines. So we have to carry it to Atonsu to go and do it. So when I reached there, I saw a woman, Mrs. Frimpong, and there's a lot of girls there who she was training. I told my mom that I want to come here. Then he said, we will have some money, so let's go and tell your father. You know, most novices, now things have changed. The respect that we give to our parents was superb, and that also helped us a lot. So I told my father that I want to learn a trade. He said, okay. Then he wear his fugu and then follow me to Auntie Mrs. Frimpong. I quite remember the money, if today they will say 1,000 cedis. That's money that I have.
That's a lot of money.
So I give it to him. When we go, the charge was around 500, and we pay. And I take some for my uniforms. And then my father also took some of the money. He don't know that I have that money. And then the rest of the money, I use it nearby from Atonsu, you go to Agogo. I buy oranges there and bring it to the work. I go early, by 6:30, I'll be there. Then buy the oranges, carry it to the workplace. So if we close around 5 and 6 o'clock, I'll carry it to Ahensign and come and sell the oranges in the night so that in the morning I'll get money to go to the work. So I did not struggle to get money to the work. And I think people say if you are not clever, you have to go and learn a trade. It's not so.
Okay.
So I urge the university students, they have to enter learning skills now because they have the knowledge. Because of that, I was very clever. I get it quickly. I can just, and I think it's talent, it's God-given. I can just sleep and get something And tell auntie, whose style be was here, and then I said, we'll cut it like this and cut it. The measurement, I think it will be this. And we'll just plait it and it's thick.
Wow.
Then from that learning, it doesn't take long time. I know how to sew. And one time, I think my madam want to do a party because of me. I don't know. So when we book the date, because if we are doing night, especially Christmas time, somebody may intention sleep because but you know the customer will come for the thing, but she will intentionally sleep. Then if I finish my own, I'll take that one also and do, because I know the customer will come for it.
So even in those days, you're still thinking about the customer.
So they were calling me fire. If anybody that fires, if you say fire, I say fire. This woman there, she is fire. You take everything like your mother's own.
Wow.
It's all institutions. It's like that.
Yeah.
So if you can do it. It's for you.
So how did you? So most of your colleagues were thinking about it as this is this woman's trade. We are apprentices. We are not even getting paid. So if we sleep and the customer comes, it's not my father's business, so I don't care. Why didn't you have that kind of personality towards the work?
I think leadership were born, and at times you can learn also. Because from class 1, I have to arrange this. At times, if my teacher is not there, I will teach. I told you I in class 1, class 2 in 1. At times, I teach the class 1 people. That is why now I want to go to school to become a teacher. Do you understand? So I think if we did not do it for the customers, my madam business will not go on. So we have to. And that is why we are there. Yeah. So we have to. That is why I was doing that.
So let's fast forward now to when you started your own business. And did you have any fears? What were some of your first customers like, and why did they keep coming back to you as opposed to the other people who were there before you?
When I started my own business, we were that time it was a compound house, and we were renting one room. And the one room, the veranda in front of your house, your room is like this.
Wow. So it's like the chair you're sitting on.
But I have to put my table there and start sewing. I use my senior sister machine. I use my mother's machine to go and learn the trade. But after, my senior sister also gave me her own. My mother's own was the old one. So using it was not going quickly. So I sit down and I started sewing. And this one, I'll give the credit to my parents also. When I started to sew, the creativity is there, and I'm serious. So I don't mind if you're brazier, I'll sew it for you. If Amelia, Mayafia, I'll sew it. If Christmas dresses, I'll sew, what do you call it? Salad dresses, anything that.
So you were not one of those people who say, I only sew dresses, I'm not sewing trousers, I'm not doing
If you bring me trousers, I'll buy trousers from the force and then take it out and put it and get my patterns. Because that time we learn informal, so that one, pattern making and other things were not there. So you have to create it yourself. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that time, I think materials was not around. That time, the curfew and other things, there were no materials. So we have to buy materials from Food's line. And there were young girls that I grew up with. That time, disco were there, hedonists, what and what. Oma the Shrine, they go to discos.
Hey, how do you know all these discos? Did you go to?
No, I did not go, sure? But they go. And I sew for them.
So you never followed them to the disco?
No. I take my money from them. And today we are going here.
So if they tell you they want a small skirt like this, you won't sew them something long because
no, I'll do whatever you want. And me, I will give you the style. And I start using catalogs early. Because when the bloggers were coming, they bring catalogs from Germany. And how much is the catalog? I'll buy it. I'll take my time and look on the catalog and redesign something for you.
Wow.
And that time, this thing was a PMP or what? The paper be. I forget the paper. Immediately I buy the paper, I go to the fashion corner. Wow. And that is why I say I like reading.
Yeah.
I'll buy mirror. Immediately I buy mirror. I go to where the fashion is.
So you always had the new styles for your customers.
Yes. But now, information is on the tip. You can buy, you can take it on phone. And you'll be holding a phone, and the phone will be giving you a bulka. Meanwhile, you get a fast one in the phone. You know, some people look and other people.
Yeah.
Oh, this star, you are paying money to the star. Meanwhile, what you are learning or the skills that you want, you can get information from the phone. That is why I say the university student should take the skills now, because whatever you want, you can apply. So because of that, I have styles. If you come today, I'll give you a different style.
And do you always deliver on time?
Yes, I will be sitting there, I will not sleep. And when I was in the veranda, after I start getting children that I have to train, so I do a kiosk. And that kiosk was just a kiosk, not plywood, with felt on it. You know felt?
No, what's felt?
It's something, it's like rubber.
Okay.
It will put it on it. And when it rains, it comes there.
Wow. Because
I don't have money to buy roofing. It's not my parents who give me that money. It's my proceeds that I get
from your business.
So I have to do another kiosk. And then that kiosk, I put one packet to do the kiosk, and then the kiosk was big. And I started getting people that I was training.
Let's talk about your mindset a bit. Because for the young people who are watching, we're always thinking, today is not the right time. I don't have a kiosk. I don't have this. I don't have that. We're always counting what we don't have. How are you able to tell yourself that I may not have all of this, but I will do the best with what I currently have?
That's why I say I have a resistant spirit. I deal with hardship every day, and I hardly ever break my spirit. Nothing can break my spirit if I say I want to do this. I don't think you have the skills before you can do something. If you have the skills and knowledge and you are creative, you can even help somebody to help the person to do whatever he is doing. Learn from that one. The proceeds that you can get from that, you can start your own.
So for you, you think starting early with what you have is very important?
Yes, small. You just start small. Wherever you are, you start small. And if you start small and it will be big, it's you.
So let's talk about, around what age were you when you moved from the veranda to the kiosk?
I was 16 years when I learned the trade. And I learned it around 1.5 to 2 years.
Okay, so 18.
I was 18 when I started doing sewing for people. So all my apprentices, they call me sister up to now. Those who have worked with me for long. So 18 years. So when I was coming into the kiosk, it's around 19 years.
Okay, so 19. Most people at that age, the profits they get from the business, they'll use it to buy the latest shoes or the nicest dress, because, I mean, you are getting some money. Why did you instead want to focus on changing the roof of your kiosk so water won't come in, as opposed to buying something nice for yourself?
I have plans ahead. And you know, I know that my parents are not rich, but I want to change it. So I was not using my money for anything. My siblings, I was using the money that I was getting to take care of them to school.
Oh, so your younger siblings.
So those who were at Citi, I take them to international schools. And now they are all big people.
Didn't you feel like it's a burden for a 19-year-old to not only think about herself, but to pay for her siblings' school fees?
It was not a burden. It depends where you come from. If you start to... I told you I was young and I was responsible. So that responsibilities, that make a person successful, because, you know, it's not hand to mouth. You have to work and look after other people also. So I started doing that, and we were staying in a compound house. So I decided to build the house. So I was 24 years when I bought a plot.
Wow. How did we, from 19, you are in your kiosk.
The kiosk was
Walk us through those 5 years that led you to make enough profit to buy a plot.
I started saving at the bank early. I was saving at Barclays Bank.
Okay.
So any money I get, it go to the bank. If I have to use some, either it come back to the business or it pays my brothers or my sister's school fees. And at times I help in the house also. So the money that I gather, then I see that we are in one room, and in future, if the landlord is not there, the family will kick us. So I tell myself I have to have a place. So and my friends were more aged than me. I don't want to become a friend with young ones. And normally my friends are men. So I asked somebody that I want to buy a land. And he said, oh, somebody have some in Atonsu Bokru. Then we go there. That time I bought it 8,000.
Wow.
And let me tell you, I now want to go to Germany. That time Germany was something.
The hottest thing.
And my mother said no, she won't accept. I'm a young girl. I don't have any child that I have to go and do those nyama job to come and take care of her. So I can stay here and work. So I decided to send her to the bank so that I can change the account to her name. So anytime they want money, they can take it. She said no.
Wow.
So from then, that money, I use it to buy the land, and then we start to build. It took me, that time I was 24 years. When I was 30 years, I finished. So, and true and behold, when the landlord died, they kick all of us in the house. So my mother have to go and stay in that building.
So even at 24, in a kiosk, you were still thinking ahead that this is the destination. I might be here, but this is where I'm heading. Where do you get that internal drive from?
That drive, that time, I don't know. I was young to extend that when they were doing fashion show at, not fashion, exhibition at trade fair. I forget the name. It was around 80 something. I was there. That time Ajedu and those fashion designers. I go around and see things and I say, no, I have to buy my overlock. Some people do their works and take the dress to other places to do overlock. I have to buy hose machine. So I put it everything what I was doing in the business. So I was looking what people are doing. I search. And I read also, like I told you, at times in papers, they will say this fashion designer, what and what. This man, Kofi Ansa, I take more inspiration from him. But at that time, he do fashion shows and others.
Wow. So let's also look at when you, because right now, you have over 500 full-time and part-time staffers that are working with you within the informal sector, but you formalized it in your own way. Some people talk about frustrations in working with artisans, people with vocational training, as far as discipline is concerned. Walk us through how you've been able to keep some of your longest serving employees.
That one is you, the employer, because I think the people that are doing the job, like employees are first. I will pay you, even if me and my children won't eat. I will pay you to pay your children's school fees. If you ask Eunice, now I was sewing for their school, the Candy school. It's reached a time, it's about 4 or 5 terms, I couldn't pay the school fees.
Wow.
Because I was paying the workers. But if I buy anything, I pay. And I was sewing for the school. So if I sew for them, they deduct it from it. Wow. So if it did not reach the term that I have to pay, I have to gather that, I have to let them wait if I sew for them. So if you take care of your workers well, then they can also work for you. Because anyhow, your profit is more than the worker. So if you help the worker, then the worker will help you. You are using their time, their mind. You see, their time, their mind, and their energy. So if you don't pay your worker, then it's not well. But I will pay you, but you will do. I have some saying, if you sum, you can say if you sum ajuma, na wa sum didi. If you don't want to sow ejuma, you don't sow didi. And if I see something in somebody who have a good skills, obi a wonim dear power ejuma hono, I'll fight with you, but still will be there. I won't let you go.
So, okay, talk to us. A lot of our entrepreneurs, especially female entrepreneurs, we get stuck at the small business side, one-man businesses all over the country. How did you transition from a one-woman shop with 2-3 people to 200 people, 500 people, and now you're going to the thousands of people?
You have to come down to the level of the workers, but you have to be strong. Like I told you, you have to pay them. And then you have to also dinokre.
Okay, so be honest.
You have to be honest. You have to be honest with your suppliers. You have to be honest with your bankers. Then, like I was saying, I was in London and Atlanta. And I get it that no, abrochire in heaven. So I have to start changing something. That is why I start to do the uniforms. So when I was starting the uniforms, I have to use the Kaba and Slate money to do the uniforms. There are some people, if they want to jump to another business, they just kill the old one. But the old one is the butter that you are putting in your bread. You cannot just kill that one. And Kaba and Slate na wo hoye ye gidi. Ne disaster no school uniforms there. Now you be uniform there na be kese. Now we have to put things in place. HR, accounts, what and what. You have to pay your tax well, and you have to go to exhibitions, programs. You have to learn. And then I give advantage for my workers also to learn. If there is any program that will help, I just push them. And the positions, I keep giving it to the old ones. Though they did not attend school like my own, most of them. But I try to educate them. I help them in education. Then I keep them so that we can do things well. So I employ people. I hire people. I don't mind. If you can help me, any money that you take, I'll pay you. Because if you help for us to do it correct, at the end, it's for me.
Now let's talk about one district, one factory. And you scaling from a medium-sized business now to a large-scale business.
I believe in luck, but luck is preparation. I have the idea that I will do the factory big. So we bought a land, long time. I think it was 4 acres. So and we have our land title, which means we have prepared. And it is in the city of Kumasi, not
anywhere
outskirts. So when the policy come, one district, one factory, we just jump in. And our proposals, it's not like somebody is writing and trotting. It's true. When we will put our proposals with them, bam, they run and come to Kumasi and come and see. And when they come, it was there. So you cannot just write a proposal that did not work before and you say somebody should fund you. So when we bring it and they give us some banks, and I say, no, I'll give it to Prudential Bank. When I send it, they say, oh, madam, we will finance you. Even the land, we bought it for you and you pay. How can we leave you for somebody to finance? Some people are holding some proposals, which is very sweet in your reading or in your mind, but it can't work.
You've actually lived your proposal.
So if my proposal, if you come, you will see, this thing is going. So if we help, it will go. And when it was starting that this NEPAD or African free trade also, then Ghana, we have to stand. Because what are we producing for other people to come and buy? If not, other people will dump their things on us. And we want to grow and grow. Maybe in future, we can solve for the African countries their schools. Or we can do what we are doing, we can replicate it in other countries. I have some visitors from Turkey. And when they come and they listen to my background of education and how I'm working with the women and other people, they are surprised. They say they have a factory in Sudan. In Sudan, once the woman did not go to school, he think he cannot do anything, and they will be sitting. So they want me to come to Sudan, so that they have a factory there that they do milling, they do knitting and do dyeing and do materials, but they sew it to outside. But in Sudan, maybe we can do Sudan school uniforms. I can help the women to establish every village or wherever there is a secondary school. I can help them to do. So I think Ghana, we can also do that.
Now, your advice for women and men who are watching us, who can be easily intimidated because somebody speaks big English, somebody graduated from university, they didn't have that, so they get deterred from chasing their dreams. What advice would you give them?
I think the school, you are going to school to get a job for them to pay you. And no any money that they have right in those money, bank money, no English money, no any money. If I'm paying you did I write, I'll give you a receipt that your name, Dziffa have serviced me this, but the currency is the same. So don't let anything deter you. If you are a graduate and you don't find a job now, you can start doing anything. But what I will advise you is start to learn a trade so that you can add something to your CV. If you are, let's say, if you are architecture, they don't have problem because their own is hand to hand. And the school, the courses that they choose, at times they don't want to learn hard, so they just choose any course. And at times, because of money, what they can pay. But the education is not the life. Life is you. Whatever you are, wherever you get yourself in, work hard so that you can be somebody. Don't say this person is so high. He starts from elsewhere. You can ask those who have the big name in Ghana. If you go and listen to where they start at somewhere. And what I will tell people, there is so many jobs in Ghana. What did your mother do and pay your school fees? What was your mother doing? The young ones, maybe some of them, their mothers were doing kenke. Your mother is a kenke seller. You have finished Legon. You do business administration in Legon. Madam, you come and stay in the room. And your mother, you give you some of the kenke, and you and your girlfriend, you go and stay in the room and eat. Do you understand? You can take up the kenke business, go to the bush and buy the corn. Do you understand? And come and change how she is doing it. Or you can find some people who are doing the same business with your mother and start selling the corn to them. By 1-2 years, you will start farming and have your own corn farm, and you will start processing it for a different thing. So you have to be creative. Don't close your mind. I am a casa adjene et a sateche. The more I want to know, na eba. The more you open your mind and create something, it will become. But if we close it, you'll be locked.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Janet Abobigu, who is the founder of Unijay Company Limited. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And some lessons I've learned is that, number one, believe in yourself, be confident, work hard. And in the end, grit matters more than anything else. So be resilient and apply grit to everything you do. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed this video.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Citi Tube,
for exclusive breakfast daily content and other Citi TV programs.
Like, comment, and share with your friends.